All right. We had some technical difficulties. We're coming back in on this. Welcome all to None of Our Business Podcast. I'm peeking. Huh?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Joe's got the
Don't worry about it.
voice.
Just control that.
Control your vocals.
Do you know which mic you are?
Test. Well, I think he's mic number 2.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah.
Are we good?
We're good.
There
It's
we
when
go.
you get
Okay.
excited.
Welcome all to None of Our Business Podcast, episode 9. I am your host, Joe, along with Philly Fanatic, Philly Silent Tempo. We got Keenan
And
over
Clueless
there.
Keenan.
Okay, so we got Rey of the Bulletin Board Material. I'm just trying to go fast on this because we had some technical difficulties we had to get back on. We just had this whole conversation about watching porn for the first time.
We had about 25 minutes recorded.
About 25 minutes worth of fucking
And my
material.
secret stays secret. Yes.
Actually, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Keenan had a really compelling story. You guys are never going to hear that, which is just horrible for you guys.
We'll post some behind the scenes
Okay.
footage off the because they record audio on the mic.
So
on
anyway,
the phones, right, Philly?
Yeah.
Beyond
Yeah,
that,
don't worry, we got it.
Ray was about to tell us his story, so
Yes.
let's hear that portion.
Oh wow, just
So-
like that, huh?
The question,
Yeah,
the question,
yeah.
the question was, do you remember the first time you saw porn?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're not recapping Keenan at all.
No, we're not going to touch that.
Good.
You
So,
guys
on.
missed that.
so my story's gonna sound a lot
We
better.
may. We may.
So I was probably about like 7 or 8. I used to go with my pops, the gardener.
Yeah.
So I've always been gardening since I was like 8.
Oh,
Summer
okay.
vacation, winter
Typical.
vacation. We were out.
Cheers, guys.
Happy
Cheers.
first
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Happy first. Sorry, guys. This is the first podcast of the new year. We're ringing it in right. Keenan brought us some champagne. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
So I must have been about 7, 8. I was in Santa Monica. Of course, I didn't do much at 7 or 8 as far as work went. So one of my main things I had to do was I had to take like the recyclables out, make sure the trash cans were out on the
Right.
sidewalk and whatnot, right?
Right.
So one day, you remember back in the old day, they had the bins in Santa Monica. They had the yellow bins
Yes.
for newspaper, all that nonsense, right? So I remember grabbing the newspaper and flipping through it because I always used to grab the comics out of there, especially the Sunday comics.
Smart
right?
guy.
Yeah.
With the fat ass comic
Yeah.
stack.
So
You guys don't
I come
remember that.
upon a Penthouse magazine, or
Hey.
my first Penthouse magazine.
Mm.
So I'm literally going boom, 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 like just scrolling, not scrolling,
Scrolling.
flipping through pages
Flipping
right
through
of
the
newspaper. How old school.
It looks like they move if you go fast enough, right?
I was scrolling. I had the page. I couldn't figure it out.
So I'm flipping through the newspapers and I come across this Penthouse. So immediately I'm like, oh, put all the newspaper down. I start walking really fast to the back. I squat between some trash cans and I take this Penthouse and I'm sitting there looking.
Yeah.
And, like Penthouse is a little bit more.
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
little
It
more-
was the
They-
raunchier
they-
version
They
of
spray
Yeah,
the
oh,
lips
yeah.
and all that
So
stuff.
that's like
Oh,
no grooming, no
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah. They were
yeah.
buck wild.
Yeah, and that was like the first time I ever saw anything like that. So to me, I was
shit.
case in point, well, not case in point, but following summer, I find a bunch of them behind my dad's
Oh, yeah.
gardening truck and behind his seat, like
Oh
tons of them.
shit!
Yeah.
Leisurely, just on his brakes,
Leisurely,
just
I
hop
guess.
in the truck, beat
Yeah.
one up.
He says
it
they were,
pushing.
he says they were his workers.
Workers.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's what he
yeah,
says.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
That's great, dude.
I hope you don't listen to this podcast.
yeah.
You know what though? Playboy actually has a history of providing provocative social commentary, and people used to actually read Playboy, not just for
Yeah,
the
they would.
models,
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
would read.
yeah.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
I read Playboy and it's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like, no, yeah, there's stuff in there.
No, there was. I think just recently, I'd say in the last 2 years, they announced that they were going to cut like any from their magazines. They were going to be cutting any nudity.
Yeah, they did. They did. That's
They did,
already
right?
in play. Yeah. There was a big uproar about it too.
yeah. I'm sure
is what
guys
it
are like,
is.
"What the hell?
Yeah.
No titties."
But you're totally right. They had
Shit.
great content. They even had a lot of supportive written articles on the black movement in the 60s and so it was like one of the rare magazines that
I'm
would
not
have
surprised.
that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Hugh Hefner was a
He-
big
he's
a
supporter.
fucking man.
He was
Yeah.
he was a low key revolutionary.
Yeah.
He changed the way that people thought, not just about fucking nudity and the body, but just in general about how gentlemen should conduct themselves.
Yeah, be gentlemen.
Yeah.
He was a
Don't be a fucking nasty dude just
yeah.
trying to get his
Aw.
dick wet.
He's like, what?
Oh.
So you go to Hustler if you want that.
He's like, that's why I stuck with Hustler and Penthouse.
Ain't nothing wrong with being nasty.
Yeah.
It's like 2 pages stuck in a porn book. What's wrong with these pages?
Yeah.
Why won't they open?
I don't think I've
No
ever
idea,
had
man.
that. Has that
Humidity.
That hasn't happened to anybody.
He said humidity.
It's humidity.
Has that happened where you nutted so much it got all over the? You don't keep your magazine next to
Some people
you.
specifically will nut on.
You
the
said
Oh,
page.
you
really?
don't keep your magazine next
Like,
to
yeah,
you?
take that, bitch.
Oh
And you're
really?
like, oh, now I can't use that page.
I don't-
That's a closed chapter in my life.
Well, you get a new one next month, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
even
so,
matter.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we were talking about first time experiences, and Keenan had that story.
I did, but Joe never said his.
No,
I did. I talked about the Spice Channel. Mine for
No, when we just opened up. We
Oh,
just
yeah, the
opened up
original.
with.
Oh,
I'm trying to divert it.
oh yeah.
I'm
No,
trying to
mine
get
was
me-
the Spice Channel. Like trying to figure out what I was actually looking at because I knew there was some porn in
You were
there.
surfing
Yeah.
through the
I
channels.
was just
and-
It was like the last channel, like 99
Yeah,
or whatever.
It was so exciting though to
It
scramble.
was, dude.
Yeah.
Just like
How old were you? Though?
Who, me?
No, well,
Oh, sorry.
but yeah,
I
how
must
old, wait,
have-
hold on. We didn't even see how old you were. You said you were like 8 or what when you were doing the thing with your dad?
Yeah, probably around 8.
Around 8.
Yeah,
okay.
probably
And-
around
and
Yeah, I'd
you,
probably
Joe?
say I was around 10.
Yeah,
10,
okay.
yeah.
And Keenan,
Yeah,
your
you
story of the
my
because
story.
Keenan actually had basically like second, third
It was
base
a
before he even saw
technicality
porn.
on the question. I just wanted to.
It
make
was
sure I
a
understood. I
technicality
was like,
because he
wait a
wasn't
minute.
porn. It was just, this was a life experience.
So Keenan,
Ah,
is the
yeah.
I
most-
wish you guys were around for that. It was crazy.
Keenan has been sexually
Yeah.
experienced since like 10.
Yeah, that scarred me for life because that's why I've been single for like 80 years.
You look
really
How old are you, Filthy?
Like I said, I was like probably 8 or
Oh, you said like second grade, right?
I was like 7. Yeah, when I first found
Yeah,
the Playboy
7, 8.
card.
Damn,
it's
that's
it's
crazy.
early. It's early for
Yeah,
a lot of
crazy.
dudes. Like everything,
Yeah.
pretty much everything
I
was
mean,
was
yeah.
elementary school experience.
We discover it pretty early, and then for some of us, we actually get into it pretty early, like before
like
you
the
even
first time
know
you
it.
have
Yeah.
sex.
Yeah,
I didn't have sex until I was 14, dude.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
I didn't
saying,
until
yeah.
about like 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And you?
I was
Yeah.
fine.
super late, so we won't go on that subject. I was scarred as a kid. Remember
Hold on,
that?
hold on. I mean, you got early action, bro.
Yeah,
Way
Like,
too
what was-
early.
access.
Right?
is
Way
super
too early.
late.
You hit like
Okay.
third base
Hey,
like at 11.
it happened.
And so
Yeah.
since we want to, since Philly
He
wants
got
to bring
stuck
that
at
in,
third base for all these years.
What was
I-
that?
there is video footage of this early conversation that we can release if you
I
want.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, later on. That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
If-
That's
if-
marketing material, bro.
If
Yeah,
you
of course.
guys subscribe
Oh,
to the
be
podcast,
patrons or what is
let
it called?
us know
Patrons?
that you
Donors?
did, and we're
And
gonna
we-
look at the subscriber count. And if it's
Actually,
not up
you're
by
right.
10,
You're right. You're
We'll
right.
be
in
flinging those
fact,
porno
what you can
discs,
do is
those
you can
free
send an
services.
email. You can send an email to thenoobpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, the new podcast
send
at
an email.
gmail.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's like, I want this to go up.
And then then we'll give you a link to the footage so you can get access to it if you want. Just
There you
send
go.
it. Just send an email to thenoobpodcast@gmail.com. THENOOB podcast@gmail.com.
For shizzle.
So my story, just to
You'll
Clear
get the
me out.
full access. Of
so it's about watching porn. So I saw porn after I experienced intimacy with the girl.
just-
So what?
go ahead.
You want me to save it or?
I want you to save it because we're trying to get subscribers.
Yeah.
so
Well,
I don't want you to tell this story unless
it
people
was funny,
sign up.
and the reason
Yeah.
we're doing this because we had like a technical difficulty and
Yeah,
our audio was
a
out. But
funny
now
technical difficulty.
we're gonna make lemonade. you
Yeah,
know?
but I like it. The bloopers and the mess ups and the things that don't go 100% right
It's
are
like
some of the
Mercury's
best
in retrograde
content
right
ever.
now.
Yeah, it's the best.
In Gatorade.
So when you were
Yeah.
trying to like stop the video, I want to say no, just keep it flowing, and then you can always cut later. But the more
Yeah.
you record, the more content of crazy stuff you'll get. So just let those sit and play, and you
Yeah.
might get some wild shit.
some blooper
And
shit.
so, but if you go and try and stop and then restart, it's like you might be missing
what
the
are we even doing with our
camaraderie.
lives?
And you're not the only one that has a crazy story about elementary.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Joe was throwing lies out. Like, let's talk about biggest lies we ever told in elementary
Biggest
school.
lies.
Joe damn near had a girl convinced.
Yes.
She was
That
pregnant.
Yes.
she was. Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay, no.
Damn,
you're
yeah,
good.
love child, baby.
I was.
Give my
you know,
lunch money.
I've been a lover all my life, and
Ain't that the truth?
I remember one time when I was in elementary school, I convinced this girl that I was the lead guitarist of the Scorpions. Like, I
Wait,
swear
the
to you,
rock band Scorpions.
the
from
rock
the
band
80s.
of Scorpions. I convinced her
What the fuck?
that I was the lead guitarist. Like, I fucking I took a tape. Like
this
back
is before
in the
the
day,
internet, gentlemen.
Yeah, this is
ladies and
before the
gentlemen.
internet.
Before the
Yes.
internet.
This was a cassette tape.
You recorded over it.
We used to have one of those dual cassette tapes where you could play a cassette on one side and then you had the other one queued up, or you could record.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
You could
That's
copy.
how you get your
So I recorded the Scorpions' greatest hits
Oh, okay.
onto just like a regular tape, one of those you could buy off, and I
Yeah.
just I forgot what the band name was. I can't even remember what the.
Oh, you're terrible.
Yeah, but I said, "Oh, this is my band. I'm the lead guitarist."
and she thought you sounded
fucking
like
bought
them.
that shit. Yeah,
How-
she was like my girlfriend because
What?
of it. Yeah, I swear to you, it's crazy.
Damn.
It's fucking crazy.
Did you purposely do that to be like, hey, if you want to get with me, I'm part of this band?
I absolutely
I
did.
don't
Oh,
wanna
okay.
be a
Yes.
player
So was
she
no
your first
more.
groupie?
Yeah,
She
I
was.
guess so.
She was
First
probably my
groupie?
first groupie. I want to say.
And
she
now
was
they're
my first
married with
groupie.
kids, everybody.
I don't even know where she is now. Like, I bet you anything.
She's like a
She heard
a music
the
producer.
Scorpions.
Yeah.
She heard like
Now she
like,
likes rock music. For the rest of her
10
life.
years ago, she heard the Scorpions. She's like, oh my God, this is my ex-boyfriend. This was his band.
Oh,
Tell me
no.
my
And
ex-boyfriend.
it was like, what?
Well, how is your ex-boyfriend?
You're like, wait, are you telling me?
It's like a Keenan question.
Because the
She says that now, and she's like, "So your boyfriend's like 60?"
I know, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was, what song was it?
She was in her bedroom talking about still loving you.
Nah, it was like The Jungle.
Oh,
What's
the
the name
Here
of it?
I Am.
No,
Rock
Rock
Me
You Like an
Like
Airplane.
not that one. No. It was
That's Guns N' Roses if
no,
it's
no,
Welcome
no.
to the Jungle.
No, it's not Welcome to the Jungle. It's shit. How's it go?
It's Scorpions.
But
But that's not the Scorpions. That's the Doors.
Shit. I should know this. I'm embarrassed.
So should I. I listen to a lot of rock, 80s hair metal.
What the name of that
Yeah,
song?
I'm
We're
gonna
acting
work
like we
on
don't have.
You know what,
computers
Joe?
at
I'm gonna
our
move on.
fingertips.
Yeah.
You
This
lost
is
it.
going too long.
Fuck you guys.
Joe's like, come on, guys. It's the
Come on, you guys,
song.
you
know
get
it.
it. I want to. I
None
can't
of
remember.
us can
Anyway,
figure
let's
it
keep, let's keep pushing. Fuck you guys.
I'm gonna keep this man filled.
We
Wait,
brought.
what? What?
Whoa.
Hey,
That's not the
wait,
first
wait,
time you said
that. That is not.
Keenan, I know this is the None of Our Business podcast, but that was none of our business.
I thought you didn't know Ray. I mean, what the hell?
I feel like I've known you my whole life.
I know.
Keenan's like, we should keep this man entertained. Whoa.
That's what I was gonna segue into that. We
Oh,
brought
okay.
Ray in from the Bulletin Board
I-
Material.
I drove in.
Oh yeah, we didn't bring you.
And now, Ray, are you a uni alum as well, or
No,
no?
he didn't go to uni.
Okay.
How did you and Joe?
Go ahead.
Yeah. How did you guys?
That's good.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Good question.
I'm a value team member to this group for asking questions like that. Yeah.
Well, you're still kind of new. I heard the podcast.
Oh, you.
Oh,
Did you
we
get
needed
to-
structure. We figured we'd bring this
Oh,
guy in.
jeez.
A valued team member.
So you heard the pruny dick one?
Yeah.
All right,
Episode 3.
Yeah.
He knows about the pruny dick
Of
and your
course.
fingertips.
But yeah, how did you guys become Eskimo buddies?
So we were rivals. We were, I think, unofficial rivals in at SMC.
yeah.
We were,
Really?
part
College?
of two
Santa Monica
different- yeah.
College?
We were in rival clubs.
Yeah, we
Latino
were.
clubs.
Yeah.
What?
He was in Alas, which was the more political, more political.
He
Yeah,
was-
we were more political.
He was in a
yeah.
Latin political club.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Joe.
I was.
Alas.
Yes.
This
I was
guy
actually the
sitting
vice
right
president
next
of
to me.
said club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I
That's
was
like
the vice
my
president.
story about doing stuff to people at an early age. What? 20 something years?
You're right. Yeah,
What the hell?
I guess you guys aren't as close.
No.
as you thought.
Yeah.
Of course we are.
Yeah.
Shut
I'm
up.
more closer
you
to
were,
Ray
No,
than-
you were in the Bay.
He said,
You-
I'm closer
No,
to Ray.
No, okay. I was the vice president of Alas. Shout out to Alas, all
Vice
the Alas family.
president.
And and Ray
dang.
was in LSU.
What?
And- yeah.
Latino
yeah.
Student Union.
The
Wow.
Latino student.
We were the
Union.
party club.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You do. People used to. Well, I should say that people. You remember Cheve?
I do remember Chevy. Yeah.
Cheve was like so opposed to that.
Oh,
'Cause,
really?
I mean, I was like,
Party?
yeah, I was like public relations. I was like all this stuff. And I
Mm.
became president at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah. You were.
But he used to hate it when I used to say that. Oh, dude, we're the party club,
the
bro.
party
He-
club.
No, and he always tried to get us to be more politically
Respectable?
engaged. And,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, you know, but honestly, and he hates that, but I always used to say, that club, a lot of my friends that I have now, I made in that club. And I saw a lot of people grow in that club from when they got out of high school.
Of course,
to 2-3 years afterward, when they, they were new, they didn't know anybody at SMC, and all of a sudden they come into this club, and slowly but surely, everybody became friends.
That's good.
That's what a lot of drunken Thursday nights will do for you.
Yeah, I mean, you were part of the
I was
engineers,
part of lots of
the Black engineers.
I was president of the National Society of Black Engineers and vice president of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers.
No shit.
Hola.
He's just dropping knowledge.
I know.
Well, you know who was president of LSU? Remember? Do you remember Nick?
Miguel's bro?
No, not that Nick.
No.
Nick the Fox. He was in Pacific Islanders for a little bit. He was in Black Collegiates.
Oh,
He had
yeah.
dyed hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was president of LSU for a little bit. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Was it even Latino at all?
I know.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
weren't even Latino at
I
all.
mean, that brings up a question, because one of Joe's coworkers kind of got at me about, why do you have a National Society of Black Engineers, and why do you have a professional Hispanic engineering place? Why do you need to have this specific group that lets anybody in? Like, we're not, I don't think any of your groups were like, no, only
we were
Hispanics
never.
only.
Yeah, we were never.
You're
about
more
only-
welcome.
Yeah,
It was just about
everyone.
Yeah,
It's just this is
that
our
was the
focus.
core, but it wasn't
this is
like
our
essentially-
focus.
Yeah.
This is our core of it.
Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of
So
people.
if you get down with that, then you get down with us.
Exactly. And that was great about saying it's a party, because people are taken back by, oh, it's a very political Latino thing. I'm not Latino, something like that. It's like, no, we're being a party one brings people in.
Wait a minute. You like Latino women, so I think I know what happened there.
You got
All right.
you were chasing a little Latin
let
mommy
me
to
explain
get
you
real
were
quick,
chasing, you were chasing
That's
smart.
it right there.
You were chasing smart Latin mom.
Yeah. And I got
respect.
some pretty good hookups through that organization, which is great. And they were from
Now
Berkeley.
We get to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, there it
We got some real good hookups.
The college years of Keenan.
But I respect that. I respect that grind.
Yeah, well,
do.
I mean, what was the reason why you two got into those organizations?
I didn't know anybody at SMC. I mean, honestly, it's funny I say that I didn't know anybody at SMC, but I went in there that first day, I think, with probably 4 or 5 of my friends.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to hang out with them anymore. You're like, I'm gonna make new friends.
Well, no, it wasn't even about that. I think it was just more about kind of engaging in the
whole
the
experience.
SMC
Okay.
atmosphere.
Yeah,
You know?
the experience.
And I know
yeah.
And it was
Joe
fun.
didn't have me around. So
I
That's
didn't.
why he
Yeah,
did.
when I went in there, I didn't know anybody like at all. And then that's actually why I joined the club, because I was like, fuck, I don't know anybody.
Oh, okay. Same.
You know, fuck it. I'm just gonna join.
Join the
Yeah.
wrong
See-
club, bro.
see-
See?
I'm not
And
gonna
then
say
I-
that.
Wait.
I'm not gonna
Well,
say
no
I'm
beef,
gonna say
no
it.
beef
You
in
would
here.
have-
All right, this is a
I was
safe
I was-
space for you all.
I mean, no, but to this day, some of the people in that club are still my friends. You know?
Oh, okay.
But how did those two clubs end up coming? to
Yeah,
cross
yeah. What's
paths?
the?
I mean, we were the only two, like,
We
we
were
were the
the only-
primary, like,
the
Latino
primary
clubs.
Latino clubs, but also I remember we had done a joint event together.
We did a couple of them.
It didn't work
It
out
never-
or
a
something?
joint
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah.
I remember there was like a really like hostile, like just planning of that event.
I think
Like a week
everybody
of-
hated me for that.
Everybody hated me.
To
for
start
that.
it?
Yeah, everybody
Really?
hated me. Like in the club, they were like, why are we doing this?" Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yo, we need to participate with them. We need to
Yeah,
do shit
so
together. Like,
there was a
there
combat.
shouldn't be animosity towards
Yeah,
each other." Yeah. Well, and again, it's because some of the people that were in our club were very politically oriented. They were very about like the
Yeah.
revolution, about this
Very.
and that. So they were like really focused on just that was the route that they wanted to take, and LSU was more lax, more just
Okay.
like you said, more about
Yeah.
parties. I don't
Friendship.
think that that's what they were specifically focused on, but
No.
that's what they were perceived to be.
Yeah.
Because
That's
they
what
were
we
the much bigger one. They put on more events. No, they were a lot bigger. I think in our club we only had maybe like 10
Yes.
people.
Make sure you emphasize that we were the much bigger.
Oh no,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay.
I'm never gonna deny that
Yeah.
at
I'll
all.
tell you my strategy. When I was director of publicity, literally my entire strategy was invite hot girls. So I would walk up
You
and
can
down by
never
the
lose.
library all day with flyers, and I would literally just talk to girls walking by. Hey, what's up? And I would literally nothing but girls. I would barely talk to any dudes.
Yeah.
But
Because the dudes will come anyways.
exactly. But that
They're
first
gonna
meeting,
come
Don't
because
they
of
always?
that. No, they're gonna come
No.
because of that.
that
Hey.
first meeting, oh my goodness, there was so many girls. The second meeting, there was so many dudes.
Oh yeah.
So
Once they
many
find
dudes.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
great.
I was like,
Jeez.
I don't need to, because one dude will invite 16.
Yeah.
You know? and I'm outnumbered now.
Rule
Yeah.
number one: always impress the ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my thing was like, if we want to increase our clout, I mean, there's only like 12 of us in this group.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, if we want to do, we gotta do some joint shit with them.
Yeah, make it fun.
We got to put on more events
Yeah.
that we do. We were doing like the spoken word stuff. We were doing that kind of shit. You know,
the
so
women's empowerment.
yeah. We did
Yeah,
women's
fuck that.
empowerment. We did, you know, we would
That
go
was
to
a part of
rallies.
it.
No, we support.
Did
We
Keenan just
support.
say "fuck that"?
You're the fucking problem, guy. Get out of here, guy.
I think you guys heard me.
Wait,
Do you
so-
remember that thing that you guys hosted at that coffee shop on Ocean Park?
We
There
did
was-
a couple of them on.
There was one
Ocean.
with it was a really hostile one.
Everybody was like kind of on edge.
Well, for one, it was you remember Victor Salinas?
Yes.
So it was me and him, and I don't know what his end game was, but I mean, mine at the time was just to kind of provide like a different perspective. But it was always met with like I'm opposing
Mm-hmm.
everybody. You know, like I remember like one of the conversations was like they showed I don't remember what it was, like a Versace ad or some kind of like upscale ad,
It
and
was
it was
something like that. Yeah.
one woman in the middle, all dressed up, and then a bunch of dudes, like model dudes, shirts off, and everything,
okay.
all like lined around her, like just standing there posing. But maybe like 8, 9 of these dudes, and this woman in the front, and they were like talking about how this was giving the impression that like gang rape was okay or something along those
Yeah, I
lines,
see.
something real crazy. And I was like,
I'm telling you, we would
Yeah.
dig deep. We
And
would try to dig deep. I'm not saying I agreed with everything we did, but man, sometimes it really
Yeah,
did go
it-
overboard.
dude,
like,
I got chewed out at the end of that by Rufino, I think. Was it Rufino?
Yeah,
I
there's
So
don't
what
want to
happened?
say it was him.
What did you counter them with?
let's
I
not
just
name
let
drop.
him
Let's
pause.
just not name drop. Like, but
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was him. No, but it was. I mean, I don't have any ill will towards the guy. I'm just saying what happened. You know.
Can I ask a question?
He's like an actor now or something.
Is
Clueless
it?
Keenan
No.
question for
Go
you.
ahead.
The animosity that might have construed between the two groups, is this like a historically racial thing amongst Latin American
yes.
people, where you have Guatemalans who hate Mexicans and Mexicans hate
Salvadorians,
Brazilians and
yeah.
Brazilian hate like there's
yes, it is, but that's not what this was.
No, it was completely just like a posing
This was
clubs.
more
okay.
popularity,
It was just ego.
Let's
They
be
just
the
so am I
biggest.
just linking dots.
Yeah, let's
that not
be the
supposed to be linking
biggest.
dots?
Let's be the biggest club, the biggest Latin club.
okay,
Obviously,
okay.
we were losing because.
I was gonna say, I was like, that was the.
But
Yeah.
see, to some of the people in our club, they didn't feel that way.
Oh,
They felt like whoever's part of this club has been weeded out. Whoever has no place in our club has probably gone to LSU.
So they were slightly,
Yeah,
slightly
yeah.
elitist.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's slightly elitist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
To some of the people in our club, they felt a little elitist,
and that's
like,
not
oh, no,
from historical.
we're better than that. We're
That's
better than that.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah. Bullshit.
Good.
Wait, so
Okay.
how did you guys go from college to then you're like far older now and
Like
you've maintained your
your
relationship?
butt buddies now.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
happened.
Easy.
Good homies now.
Like, what was the first time you guys linked up outside of the club?
And touch tips.
Outside of the club,
Yeah.
dude. I honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think I really had a conversation with Joe at all. Like during,
Oh, really?
maybe
Yeah.
very like casual or brief, but
Okay.
I don't think we ever had a
So
conversation.
you hung
no, we
out
didn't.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't until
Like years
after college. Yeah, like years later.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason, like he said, we were like rivals. Like
Right.
I was the guy that was trying to make fucking alas
You
like
guys both had
fucking
beards.
popping.
No, I actually didn't. I had the douche lineup.
Yeah, it's
back
right.
then.
He did.
The real thin douche lineup.
And Ray was the guy that was popping at LSU.
Yeah.
So that
I think
was
that's
just
all
the way
it
it was.
dude.
Yeah,
I think it was like
That's
I
what
was
it
popping at LSU. Joe was the guy popping in the alas,
Yeah.
and, like,
Hmm.
and everybody kind of
It's
knew
like-
it in the opposing club.
yeah.
Did you ever
But-
come to like a Joe show before? JSO?
Yeah.
So-
I'm gonna tell you right now.
What's the JSO?
I don't even remember. Shut the fuck up. Okay.
Awkward.
No, well, see, that's a great
That's where the
segue
fight
into
starts.
like
Yes.
Yeah.
where we came
See why you
to.
keep this guy
I can't
around.
even remember. I know.
Thank you. See, I
Oh
get
my
props.
God.
I get props from the guests. Fuck you
See,
guys.
You're being.
You know what?
You're being
I-
impressed. Ah,
Sorry, you
Jesus.
just-
That
You
was a
just saw, like,
very
the-
manly dab.
That was.
It was a slow dab. It was a slow dab. It was slow
I was
motion
like,
dab.
trying not to hit the mic.
Yeah,
Yes.
I gotta reach.
We did that.
Wait a minute. I just realized that I met you separately from Joe introducing me to you.
Really?
Is that right?
I
How
met
did-
you
how
at the
did-
Pimentel house.
Oh, that's right. That party.
Yeah,
Nick's party.
It was like a,
Ah.
like a
What's this?
Thanksgiving
What's the
potluck.
Pimentel house?
No, what? Thanksgiving
Nicholas
potluck? Yeah.
Pimentel?
No, it was Nick's
Miguel, the
birthday.
singer?
It was Nick's birthday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
His brother, yeah.
Oh,
That's
Oh, it
okay.
was probably
Yeah.
Miguel's.
like, cause like I had met Laura, our friend Laura, through
Yeah.
Joe,
Yeah,
and
you
then
know Laura.
crazy, dude. I just
She's like dropped off the map, huh?
Small.
Honestly, I had a
Small
falling out with her like
world.
years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, you're right.
That's
You're right.
cool.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just,
We don't
Yeah.
have to touch that yet. But
Something new.
no. I don't even remember how we got cool. Like cool.
Well, I can tell you exactly. So Esco Fresh, you worked with Alex.
Esco, yes, I
Another
did
friend,
work with Alex.
So
We recorded at
you,
Tweaks.
he paid you for
I have
a
no idea who they're talking
like
about.
a package.
A package.
Right?
I'm just gonna talk to the
package.
camera.
I don't know if it was
Is
you
this camera
specifically or
too?
you
Is
and
my
We
camera
recorded
right
like 4
All right.
songs with him or 5
Yeah,
songs,
Andy
like a
recorded.
packet like that.
No.
And
Yes.
you were representing him.
I wasn't at the time.
This is
I was
all
you
just
weren't.
being in the
Oh,
Bay.
okay,
So I've known
okay.
Alex since
I made my own
7th
friends.
grade.
Fuck you.
Oh shit.
So he told me he was working with you. So like
Mhm.
you know, he obviously I went to middle school with him. Then he went to uni. I went to St. Bernard's. But then afterward, I managed him for a little bit. I honestly, me and him kind of we were kind of like that was kind of where he started.
Mhm.
So he started recording and all that stuff, and then later on, stopped managing him. But he told me he was working with you, and I didn't know it was you specifically. Actually, at the point, he just told me, "Oh, I'm working with these guys. I paid for this pack," and I was like, "Oh, we'll just be careful, because
No, of course.
yeah." And I didn't know it was you at the time. keep in mind.
No.
But later on, I think there was some gathering, and he posted a picture, and you were in it, and he said, "Oh yeah, this is the guy that's helping." And I go, "That's Joe."
Like, yeah,
Yeah, I know that guy.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
I know that asshole.
But then he brought over that I don't think it was an actual album he put out, but that first
That his little EP,
Yeah.
his little EP package.
and it was really good. And I was
Yeah.
holy
No, dude, because
crap.
we were focused
Yeah.
on just making him sound great.
Yeah.
We wanted him to fucking sound good because
the
some of his
DMX vibe.
ideas were great. Yeah, some of his ideas are great. Some of the shit he was writing was great, but he didn't really have a structure, you know. And we were like, fuck it, we gotta get this guy to do it. I mean,
Right.
obviously, we're gonna charge him to fucking help him put his shit together, but
'Cause time
our
is money.
intent was to make him sound great.
Yeah, the
we
value was
wanted
there
him
for
to
sure.
sound good. Yeah,
I can
So-
definitely say that the value was there, because
Yeah.
after I heard it, I was like, okay, man.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah, that's good.
And so
Yeah.
then there was a gathering, and you guys linked up after that, or
Yeah, well, no, there was a falling out with me and Alex.
Yeah.
And we're cool. Me and him,
Yeah, yeah,
we've
yeah.
hashed it all out now. And
Okay.
But there
That's
was,
good.
this
That's
is
good.
actual facts. So there was a falling out with Alex. And there was like a little bit of back and forth on Facebook, I think, between me and him. He posted something up about, I wish I had a manager or something. And I was like, well, and I commented something like, and I wasn't even malicious, but I was like, well, you did have one.
right?
Yeah,
right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But then, that became whatever. And I guess Joe said that he saw that. And then he DM'd me
Yeah.
to ask, and we talked about managing and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And so me and Joe worked together for a little bit.
Yeah.
So you guys met on Facebook?
We met on Facebook.
and Ray was my manager, but my shit is like
Our shit.
I
yeah.
wasn't.
He said,
Our
no.
shit.
Trust me, Phil, it's gonna happen to you
Our
too.
shit.
It's gonna be Joe's
Here's the
podcast.
situation though. That I just wasn't focused enough to keep it together. Like fucking, he hooked it up with like recording a dope ass video.
No, that wasn't even me, dude. That wasn't. No, that wasn't me.
Sanch?
Was Sanchez?
I mean, I participated,
Yeah,
but I
but
didn't
you
put that
were-
together. No, I
don't
don't even
even
take
remember.
credit for that. I
This
think
wasn't
you put it together.
minorities
Did I?
videos.
It was you and
just
your
before.
cousin
Just
at
before,
your
okay.
cousin's house,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was at my
His solo-
cousin.
I think
solo stuff.
Sanchinelli, you,
Yeah,
Sanchinelli,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Siphon.
Oh. But anyway,
Shout outs.
anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I was there though.
yeah, he was there.
He was
It
present.
was just the thing was that I just wasn't ready enough. I wasn't focused enough to make it happen, and I just let it slip away. But I'm glad that our friendship didn't falter because of it, because it could have gone sour.
Yeah.
It could have gone really bad.
I know.
And I do blame myself for that. I do blame myself. I just wasn't
Even
prepared
thugs
enough.
cry.
Hey,
Yeah.
he my tears fall
was-
down my eyes.
Tupac.
Hey,
Shout out
I'm
to
living it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we know each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. It's a
For sure.
great story.
Yeah.
It
But
is,
I
it
wouldn't
is.
put that all on you though. I think
No.
I used the fact that you were kind of like procrastinating a little bit to like push the fact
Step
that
back.
I was procrastinating a little bit.
Uh,
And that's
There's-
all right. Well,
There's something about collaboration that it's like, even like with podcasting or engineering projects or anything, anytime you're collaborating, it seems to be that the minute someone gives someone an excuse to no longer continue, like even if it's just like they're not communicating enough or whatever it is,
Mhm.
people seem to go, well then fuck it. Like, we're always looking for ways to be proven right instead of ways to be proven wrong. And I think that's where a lot of our miscommunication in life comes from, is that
Yeah.
we hardly want to be proven wrong. Most arguments are about, well, let me show you why I'm right, as opposed to, well, how am I wrong here? Or what facts don't I know that you're not telling me? Because in every conversation. I'm reading this book. I think it's called Difficult Conversations, and it talks about how the problem with most communication between groups and collaborations is that there are assumptions that aren't being shared on both sides that are challenging what actually happened, feelings involved, and then identity. And the challenge to an identity is always like, I'm a good or a bad person, I'm stupid or I'm smart. The other is the general feelings, I'm frustrated or I feel hurt, right? And then the other is what actually happened. And like with all collaborations, there's three categories to a difficult conversation. And usually when we're trying to prove our bottom line is when we run into problems. But it's when we use our bottom line as our starting line and go, oh, well, listen, here's what I think happened. Here's what I think happened, but you let me know where I'm tripping. Like when you do that, everything changes.
I agree. And that's hard for me.
Yeah. No, I can tell you that's one of the that was one of the biggest flaws that my group and I faced.
Minority
Like we just refused to really it's not that I think partially.
I think everybody's got to sacrifice, especially in a group.
Yeah, you got to dedicate.
That's the biggest thing that just like breaks groups apart.
Yeah, I think partially it was the sacrifice, but also the commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of
Is that the same thing? Commitment? Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be the same thing.
No, I don't think.
How can you not sacrifice but being committed?
You could be committed and be there every time, but if Joe's like, hey man, we got to take a step back on this or this, he might be like, nah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. But I'll be there next week.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's either my way or the highway.
I can tell you.
Does it flip? Can you go the other way
I
around?
can tell you a scenario where I, for whatever reason, have to travel and do something. So I expect people to still get together even if I'm not around.
Exactly.
He's talking about us.
And then no, I'm not talking. No, I'm talking about a scenario that actually happened. Like I'm expecting. You know, if I can't be there, I don't expect, you know, a meeting not to happen because I'm not there.
Yeah.
You know, you could still do.
Yeah.
You could still.
And people will use that as an excuse.
Yeah, and people.
But that's the
like
professionalism.
There's
like
technology that helps us out too.
You're right.
Anyway,
You're right.
I just had my business or my production meeting in the car on FaceTime with 2 other people, even though I had this, you know, to do this. So like I'm still there, even though I'm not there. There's ways to help. There's no real excuse to say I can't be around.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. That just because I'm not present doesn't mean that you can't get any work done.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be the end all.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like if we can't start
End all.
end all,
whatever the fuck that is.
These guys are way too the same.
Well, did we have him?
Yeah.
Do we have him taking the test?
Yeah,
did you
end
ever
up
take?
taking
I did take the test,
First
but I don't want to talk about that till the very end because I want him to give his opinion on how accurate the test was. He's never met me.
Right.
Well, we've never had an
that's
you've
really
met,
good.
but you've never had
I
an
like that.
conversation.
I like good.
I thought about that before, and I was like, you know what? We'll
That's
talk at
foresight.
the end.
Look at him.
Dude,
Look at this guy.
Hey, wait a minute.
Is that
a little
foresight
bit
or
of a podcast.
foreskin?
I brought up that question. Don't remember, you're Andy Richter over here.
No, I'm saying no, it's good. But
I need appreciation.
You know, his
from you.
This
rebuttal's
whole
pretty good.
episode is
okay.
dedicated to Keenan Duncan.
Fuck you.
How's that for some credit?
See, I listened to the episode last week and I said, you know
did.
what? How can I make Keenan's value higher?
Higher my value?
Yes. Like it was already an all-time high
You
after
have
the
to
episode.
cut the
But I was
balls
like, how do
and
I just
stroke
cement
the
him into the
shaft.
show?
Oh, what happened?
Play with the tip.
Am I not?
So he's being sarcastic.
No. I was
It's
saying
that you're the
great,
most important
But I know the
thing.
joke was that you were like kind of like forcing your way in or something like that, right?
Oh.
So I was like, how do I cement him into this show next week?
That's good.
That was it.
All right. See,
He's like, I like this guy.
And in that effect, with that said,
that
that
relates
part
to
of me
the.
is accurate in the test.
Oh, okay. On the 16th. Oh, okay. Cool.
Hey, all
Yeah.
right. I love it.
Oh,
where
good.
we're
Yeah.
going here.
Yeah. At least
Hey.
we're recording right now too. We got all this on.
Right?
Here's a quick question.
Yeah. That was super fast.
Joe was like, all right, let me just tell you guys.
Wait a minute.
Hey, hold on.
I gotta make it as quick as possible.
No, I'm a
Go
sports guy, so let's do a little sports.
That's actually where I was.
That
was the question.
because
I
I
was
heard
like,
a question last week. From
How
somebody.
about LeBron?
I was
What's
gonna say
going on
LeBron,
with
right?
He's hurt.
That's
man.
all we know.
He's
He
at
is.
home chilling.
You
having
know
a glass
what's
of wine in his
crazy
cryo
is that
chamber.
this is his first time in like
Being hurt.
significant injury.
Significant injury, yeah.
So what happens
Throughout
if he
his
can't
whole
play at
career-
all for the next 2 years or something?
Yeah.
Does he lose his contract?
No.
No.
Oh.
He's not
Okay, which
Okay.
segues into another
He'd
question
probably be a
that Philly
paraplegic
actually
and not
had.
lose it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Okay, no, okay.
Yeah, so
Good
I've
question.
got. Okay, wait. You have a question?
Is it the same as mine? It's like similar. It's like the same thing, right?
Well,
No.
no, just
Okay.
just to set it up.
No,
It doesn't
okay.
have to be answered now. The thing is, I really don't watch sports or play sports, and it could be that nobody played catch with me when I was a kid. But the truth is, like, I have zero interest in it. However, I'm sure there are reasons that can be thrown in front to sort of intrigue me for someone who doesn't care about sports.
Well, I can add to what you were talking about the other, but are you like fantasy team type stuff? Like, is that as far as you go?
I got a family now, so I can't afford
can't-
to waste so much
There's
time
some
on
free
it anymore.
fantasy
Dude, I
stuff,
was
right?
diehard fantasy, dude.
Oh,
He
really?
was.
Yeah, diehard fantasy.
Do you ever get like a +3 attack power with your with your?
He's
so
trying
it's
to
it's
tell
not
me,
the
is
same
it
thing.
like Dungeons and
No,
Dragons.
no,
Yeah.
See, and I'm like not
Yeah.
at all. See,
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons to me is Phil Sports.
But
I'm
see,
like,
no, but
All
see,
right.
but see, here's the thing.
And I'm not even Dungeons
Where
and Dragons.
fantasy gets its-
Here's the thing about
Yeah.
that is that they're not that much different.
No, well,
They're not.
yeah,
They're
how,
not.
how they
At
set up
the
the
base, yeah.
rules is pretty much
Which
the same.
brings me back to the whole bro gamer,
Yeah.
you know, dedicated
Yeah.
gamer.
Well, I think it really depends on your. I mean, it's not solely on that, but I think it depends on your nature as well.
Mm.
Like, I'm very competitive. I'm very aggressive.
Okay.
But I'm also all about camaraderie and all that stuff. You know, LSU, all that.
yeah,
shit,
of
right?
course,
But
of course.
having a family and all that. You know.
Fucking families. Damn it.
We don't know what that's
That
like,
was
so
Joe-
that's on
Joe said
YouTube.
that. Joe said that. Kim, Joe said
Okay,
that.
bro.
Joe
I
said
love
that.
you. Hey, boo boo, I love you. Hey, Kim.
Is that what the call? That's the
Follow-
phone call.
follow her
You better be
Instagram.
praising me.
Wait, what?
I gotta take
Mary
Oh, you
Kay
do?
events?
Oh, I thought you were serious. Well,
But your wife has an Instagram too. I just want to drop that
Yeah.
real
Oh,
quick
yeah.
before we get into that.
Yeah,
She does events.
yeah, she does. She's so it's Marie K Events. She's
How is it
she's-
spelled?
Marie M-A-R-E. I'm sorry, M-A-R-I-E.
Uh-oh.
K Events. If you can't spell events, then you probably should. But I mean, essentially, what she does is she decorates on a budget. So depending on your budget, obviously, we're not going to say, hey, if your budget's $1,000, we're going to create some $40,000 event, but we're going to make it look like the event is not
Right.
you know,
Not $1,000.
$1,000. You're gonna make like
Stretching that
$10,000.
dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's great at that.
Okay.
Like, dude, like I tell her times, you would.
Yeah,
Most
get
people
on
would be
get on
surprised
her
with Flat
thing.
Boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll see. She
Okay.
does some good work.
Yeah,
She does some great
stuff.
work.
So yeah,
And he
yeah.
builds stuff for events. So
I do.
perfect.
Yeah.
You
We'll
can
do on
drop,
the side.
you can drop your
It's my-
Instagram if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah,
kid.
always a good time with Keenan Duncan. It's
With
a
hashtag.
well, it's my side business that I build stuff for events. I mean, my main company, we usually go after like $100,000.
Oh, excuse the fuck out of
Yeah,
us.
like we're kind of
Oh,
high,
sorry.
high price.
Sorry,
I will
Kim.
call
you
you
can't
never.
work with this guy.
If you want anything under like
Rolling
90K, you
eyes
talk to
emoji.
Joe.
All right. Joe.
Fuck you.
Hey, we need to talk after this.
Yeah.
Fuck
No,
you.
but
Okay, but
no,
no,
we
I
no,
part
got
of it.
three
I'll be part of it.
$80,000 accounts.
Oh,
All
that's
right, everybody,
great.
just pull it out, guys. Just pull it out. Just whip it
It's a
out.
roll.
No, okay,
Yeah.
but
You
I
gotta leave
want
mine
to
on
get
the
back to
table,
the
dude.
sport.
The
I want
sports.
to get I want to get back to the sport because that's the whole
Yeah.
reason we brought Ray. Not
Yeah.
it's not the only reason, but
No.
I
It's
wanted to make
exactly
sure
the
that we
reason.
had
And you have sports gear on.
I
So
had- this
Mariners.
is actually one of the
Mariners?
reasons that I watch baseball. and I'm
so
such a diehard
technically,
baseball
when you
The
wear
Mariners.
your sports
Ken
gear,
Griffey.
you're basically LARPing.
you got the Griffey
fan. dude.
You played the
Wow,
game.
bro.
jersey.
You played the Super Nintendo. Ken Griffey
No,
Jr.?
I did. I
Yeah.
hated the fact that he was like the only actual player in the game. I was like, who the hell is
There's
He's
Bob
like,
Bob's
oh,
fake.
we couldn't get the rights to
Yeah.
get the rest of these guys.
Hey, but the game was dope.
Yeah,
The game was dope.
it was
but
a
yeah.
classic. I remember trying it up for the back in a while and playing against Joe, and I don't think you never played before or something like that.
I
But he sucks so bad.
I was trash.
At baseball.
At King Griffey Jr. Baseball on Super Nintendo, where you can like slow the ball down and do this as it comes towards the plate, and he keeps
That was
striking
cheap,
out.
Hold on,
man.
you were throwing a knuckleball?
That was cheap.
Holy
no,
crap.
Well, you can press when you press back on the D-pad, it slows down the speed of the ball, and then you can direct the ball
Yes.
where you want it to go, and Joe would always strike out.
I
It
was
was
striking
Well, that's what
hilarious.
that game was. That game
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
entirely a knuckleball.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
fucking
Pretty much.
cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I know you
Fuck
guys are
you.
going to know this, but it was like you faced Tim Wakefield at every chance, you got, or R.A. Dickey or something like that. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but
I should
I have
know
no
that.
idea
what
I
should.
should. I
It-
should know
so,
who that is. It's my
a
brother.
knuckleball. You hold a knuckleball.
And then
with
you
your knuckles.
you practically
and it's
Push
kind
it.
of like you push it.
Yeah.
And it has no rotation. So when you're seeing it coming, it's literally going like this.
It wobbles.
And you can't predict the
Yeah.
movement. So sometimes it'll go this
Yeah.
way. The catcher cannot predict where it's going.
I don't like.
You might ask for it down here, but it might end up.
Yeah.
Knuckles and
So it's like
for
a
me
Muhammad
sliders.
Ali shadow punch or one
Yeah.
of those fucking things.
I played baseball up until about like last year, like in the Sunday league, pretty competitive Sunday league. But dude, at one point I remember when I was younger, there was just like, this guy had to be in his 60s, dude.
Oh
He
yeah,
was an
oh yeah. A
adult
lot
league.
of old people still play that.
Well, he was the only old guy I knew that played, right? We were a good team,
Yeah.
but we added him because this guy was an amazing. He was 60, but this dude threw a knuckleball, and that is what he dominated everybody. I'm talking about dude, 22-year-old, like in their prime, cats who didn't make the fucking big leagues, or just like out to prove that they made a mistake, you know. And this old 60-year-old man would throw this 35-mile-an-hour like
There's your mistake.
knuckleball. I remember one time he played first, he dove, caught a ball, could not get back up on his feet.
Oh,
So the guy was
shit.
safe. But he made the stop, made the stop, and then could not get back to his
Oh, because
feet.
he was old.
Because he was so old, yeah.
God
Damn.
damn.
Yeah, that's
Did he get
how old
out
he
the
was.
stretcher or something?
Well, we played him like, here and there.
He's
but-
he's still alive,
we let
though,
him get
right?
some
Like
I
he
don't
didn't-
know.
Oh shit! So I can't
Rest
joke
in
anymore.
peace,
No more
baby.
jokes about him. Okay.
Don't say rest in peace if he's not there.
Just in case.
He's like, rest up.
Rest
Rest
My
up.
bad.
in
Rest-
pieces.
But you had
Rest
a,
in
did you have a
peace.
specific question for sports?
No, no. Well, his question was, how do you get somebody who doesn't like sports to kind of get engaged in it?
I say play it.
or
play
what
the
are
sport.
some
Huh?
what are some what are some
'Cause I
what
like-
what are some things that they could actually take from the sport to kind of get them interested, you know? And I think it all depends on what you like.
Play it or go to the game.
Go
go to the game.
If you
and
go to
watch
the
it with
game, yeah.
friends. If
I've
you watch it
been
with
to
friends.
games. I've been at parties where there's like pizza and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Those are my Golden States," and
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
riding the bandwagon.
There-
or-
wait, hold on. What'd you say? The Golden
Go
What'd you
State?
say, Philly? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, please?
You did not watch.
Those are my Golden Grams.
the
There you go.
yellow team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
you're opening that,
yeah.
right?
The answer to your question is you don't.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
can't. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, I'll give you the perfect example. My wife is a movie buff. Like, she loves movies. Like, let's go to a movie like 4 fucking times a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm
No.
with that.
what movie is it? If it's not a movie I want to see, I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'll pass. She'll go with the
Have
kids,
fun,
or she'll
boo.
go by herself sometimes. And I'll be like, I'd rather not waste my money because I'm gonna go on there and I'm just gonna sleep.
Yeah.
And why pay like 18 bucks? To
Ah,
sleep,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I
right?
feel you. I
You
feel
know,
you.
we're on a budget.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie.
Balling on the budget.
But like, I always tell her, I'm like, I'm not that I don't like movies, but I'm just not that like into movies to watch.
It's like country music. If you don't like it, don't listen to it.
I just saw what movie did I recently just see? And people
Aquaman?
are like,
Aquaman.
no, I'm
Stars
saying like
Born.
an old movie.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
I
gonna
just saw-
name all of them.
I've seen a lot of movies late, and when people find out I do, they're like, "Oh my god, that's crazy! That's such a
Yeah?
good movie." And I'm like, "Yeah, I've never like said it's not."
Is it like
I
Gone
just
with the
don't
Wind or
have-
I
something?
just barely watched it.
Right.
Yeah, like Ocean's 11. I have not seen past half of the first one. I haven't seen any
Ocean's
other.
Which
11,
one? The
first
original
one.
one
The
or
original
the
Ocean's
remake?
No, the remake.
Oh, the
okay.
Ocean's 8.
George Clooney.
Yes, the George Clooney version. Yeah.
Oh,
Ocean's
oh,
Handsome
okay, not the
bastard.
Rat Pack.
Yeah,
one.
like even when it
Okay.
was like big,
Not
I
the Rat Pack.
never cared to see it. Still haven't seen them, and I'm like, no, they look good.
Yeah,
I just
you're not big
I
on
don't
movies.
want to see it.
If you had to see a movie, would it be like action? Would it be comedy?
Well, I do like movies, but I'm more of I like comedy.
Okay.
I'm a big comic book guy, so I love all the Avengers.
Oh,
all that
okay.
stuff.
Yeah, so that would be the one to get you out.
Have you
there.
checked out any of the new ones that just came out?
Oh yeah, I mean I see a ton of movies,
Aquaman,
even though I
right?
don't go to a lot of them.
Yeah.
because they
Okay.
go to a lot.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like for Philly and for me, I don't really watch sports. I rather play them. I'm big on
Yeah.
playing the sports and being active. But if I go or watch a sport, it has to be with people. I don't sit at my house and watch the ESPN channel and do all the other
You know
shit.
what? That's fucking true.
And that's
Like,
an option for Philly. If he
Yeah.
doesn't like being into it, he can still be around the camaraderie if he likes the camaraderie
Yeah,
of the group.
True,
That's why I say
because
go
it's
to
kind
the
of like
stadium.
a party.
Yeah.
it is.
If
But
you-
it kind
yeah.
of sucks when you don't know what the party's about.
if
Yeah.
You
to
know?
a certain
That's
degree, but if
true.
you're with
Yeah.
friends, like if me, Philly, and Joe, if us four go to a Dodger game, I'm pretty sure he'll have a good
no,
time.
of course, yes.
Like, I'll go to that.
Because that's more on us though.
I
Yeah,
can attest
yeah.
to that
He won't
because
go to
I
his
just
own.
recently
Yeah.
went to a Dodgers game last year,
Mhm.
and I hadn't been to a Dodgers game in like 15 years. Like,
Wow.
yeah, maybe even more.
Yeah.
Like, I hadn't been to a Dodgers game. I was probably 10 years old the last time I was at a Dodgers game, and then I went, and it really does matter who you go with,
Yeah.
especially if you're not familiar with the game, because I'm trying to get into baseball.
Yeah.
I
It's hard.
do. It is something that
Yeah,
it is.
I'm a
It is
baseball
a tough.
diehard,
It's
dude.
a
It's hard.
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
tough
It's
game
just
to get
dying,
into
dude.
because if you watch the wrong game,
It's boring.
like
as
you're
fuck.
gonna be
Like,
bored as
most
of
fuck.
That's why you gotta get
You know?
drunk.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
most of
You
them
gotta
are
Exactly.
drink. They serve liquor
No,
there.
exactly.
You gotta.
But
drink
I
that
went.
shit.
I went to a Dodgers game. I
Yeah.
went to a Dodgers Diamondbacks game.
Ooh.
Okay.
The one.
Oh, was it the recent one? Like last year? There was one that
It was last year. It was
Well,
last
I'm
year.
not a Dodger fan. Just
Oh,
so
okay.
put it out. I'm actually a.
Mariners.
I'm the only Mariners fan in Los Angeles. I went up to
go
Seattle
ahead.
this season
Yeah.
for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Opening day.
Oh,
My wife
shit.
put it all together, of course.
Oh, nice.
And it was amazing.
Fucking
But I
God.
realized as
You
I,
teared up, didn't you?
Yeah.
Just the emotion, the raw. Dude, I would.
Dude,
Fuck
I was
that.
like this. I had
Yeah.
like, dude,
Yeah.
everywhere I walked, I would talk to people and they're like, oh. Then when they would find out I was from LA, they're like,
What?
you're a Mariners fan? You're not a Dodgers fan? Like, why are you a
It's like, what
Mariners
do
fan?
you-
And I realized the Mariners are the Clippers of Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I have
I
a
love
video
it.
with
Makes
some
sense.
random dude on the street where he's like, hey man, I'm like, hey dude, he's like, yeah, we're willing to give the Mariners to LA for the Clippers, and I'm like, we don't
I
want
know,
it.
yeah.
We don't want it. We'll pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love the Clippers, man.
Yeah,
I
but,
love the Clippers.
Yeah,
you should
Baron
go.
Davis.
I say it won't get you into sports, but at least you'll, I don't know, it won't forcefully put. It'll take like if you're not
It'll be a great
into it.
experience.
if you're
for
not
sure.
into it, I
Yeah,
honestly
no.
at this point, if you're not into sports, I don't really think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's never I'm never gonna say never. But
Yeah, there's a
there's
slight
always
possibility.
there's always an outlier,
Right.
right?
That's
Well,
true.
yeah, it's like how do you convince someone that would prefer to watch a sports game over reading a book? It's the same thing. It's like it's just not your thing.
Reading.
I did
Oh,
sales
wow.
for 10 years. I worked at a finance company. Fuck One Main Financial.
Oh, shit. Shout out to fucking
Shout
you.
out to
Back
Fuck
it,
One Main
back
Financial.
it,
Hashtag
back it.
Fuck One Main Financial. Hashtag
both
F
mash
One Main
on you.
Financial. Hashtag FOM.
We both rep smart tech since I was 16.
Hashtag these nuts in your mouth.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not please.
Where were you going? Where were you? Where were you going?
Well, anyway,
with this?
so I worked at a finance company for 10 years, so I
Right.
did a lot of sales, right?
Mhm.
So I did it for about 10 years. Sales is the same thing. People used to say, oh, I can't do sales. Anybody could do sales.
yeah.
Because people think sales is like tricking somebody into it or like trying to weasel them into something. It's like, no, it's like when you go to the grocery store and you need milk. Who convinces you need milk? Nobody. You go to
Nobody.
the store because you need
Just
milk.
go because you
So
need it.
I did personal loans, mortgages, auto finance, all that stuff, right? All that boring stuff. And it's the same thing. People would come in. We'd have crazy, ridiculous. I mean, if you want to get raped financially,
Oh yeah.
you go to One Main Financial.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're talking about 36% for a loan.
Damn.
That's not even the
God
highest, but
damn.
still, like, yeah. The thing is, the
That's
way they
higher than
operate
student loans.
is the problem. Not so much the products, but so much the way they operate. They just operate like Wells Fargo, where it's like,
Oh
grow,
yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
Who cares? Do what you got to do. Wink, wink. But we're gonna hold you accountable.
Yes.
All that nonsense.
I got a
Yeah.
great Wells Fargo story for after you guys.
Okay.
After you. It's
Um,
crazy.
So the same thing I would tell people is like, you can't convince somebody. I mean, sales is you tell them, and you just try to connect the benefit. If you know, they got to see
They're
they,
looking for it.
They
right.
have to see the advantage or the benefit for themselves.
Right.
You can only tell them this is a benefit. They might be like, because if it's me and you tell
They
me
have
that's
to
a benefit, I'm
believe
like,
it
you're full of
themselves.
shit.
Yeah.
It isn't.
Shit.
I know this. I know
Show me
you.
the Carfax.
I'm looking
Yeah.
for 10
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm the worst to go to get a car if you're the car salesman.
Exactly. I'm that guy.
yeah.
I'm
I've been,
that guy.
yeah, I've been kicked out of dealerships.
Dude.
I've been like, I've walked out with 2 middle fingers in the sky, dude, as I'm
Wow.
walking out of the
Yeah,
showroom.
dude.
Like, eat it.
Dude, I'm telling you, when we went and got Sonia's car,
Yeah.
I was there for like 7 hours
Oh shit.
because I was
Wait 'em out.
fucking yeah.
Oh.
Until this guy broke and he was like, "All right, fucking, we're gonna give you this," and then I'm like, "Oh, that sounds delightful." Okay,
I'm
yeah,
glad you
let's go
finally
there,
see
let's go
things my
there.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. It was a great experience. And Sonia was like, "What?"
Yeah, because buying a car is a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and if
it
you've
is.
never gone through it, it's like, what?
Mhm.
And if you're not like onto it, like I have to go with my mom because my mom goes and she
Yeah,
gets like
dude.
all the bells and
You
whistles.
can't.
Yeah.
You don't tell her
Exactly.
don't because that just increases their profit. That's what they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fully loaded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you saw my car. It's manual doors, manual windows.
Dude, I just upgraded from a 1999 Toyota Corolla. No, never
99
mind.
Corolla.
91 Corolla.
Whoa.
Sorry, 99, 91.
So it lasted
Damn.
20 years.
It lasted me.
Or almost 20 years.
It had 120,000 miles. I bought it a year and
30.
a half ago.
Wow.
Damn.
Jesus.
It had 130,000 miles on it,
Wow.
and the engine died within the year.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Does that take that call?
I'm sorry. No. he got into an accident.
Oh.
Sorry, I got to confuse
We'll edit
the other
that in
car.
post.
But yeah, so Wells Fargo did something that I would never believe. You would probably never believe me either. But during the crash where all the banks had to get a bailout,
Yeah.
there was not a lot of stories about Wells Fargo getting a bailout. And I went to a teller, and I don't know why they told me this. Maybe it's true or not. But I asked them, hey, how come I never really hear so much about Wells Fargo and this whole bailout thing and all that stuff?
They were making bank.
And they said, because we own the newspapers and we own the media. And I was like, what?
They actually obtained Wachovia during that 08 collapse.
Wow. Yeah.
They
it
were
was
doing
like,
well. They
Yeah.
weren't. They weren't. Hard
And that's
up.
because
Yeah.
they were stealing from everybody.
yeah.
I was a part of that. I
Were
had
you?
literally just a savings account, and I only had it to put money. I didn't even have a card for it. I would
Yeah.
literally walk to the Wells Fargo or drive to it,
Mhm.
deposit money. Never
And
once.
somehow
used
you
a
had a
card.
card.
No, somehow I ended up with 4 accounts.
Whoa.
Like
Yeah.
4 months later.
Oh,
Yeah.
I go in
wow.
there and they're like, "Oh, do you want to cover some of the overdraft fees and the other accounts with your
It's
money?"
like,
and I'm
what?
like,
What?
"What other accounts?"
yeah.
Dude, I had 4 accounts.
Yeah.
I had a friend.
Yeah.
I have a friend who worked for Wells Fargo, and she was being forced to do these things.
Damn.
Like if she didn't meet her quota for the day,
yeah.
they wouldn't let her leave until she fucking made calls and tried to close deals over the phone.
It's
Like,
crazy.
And you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to be able to have clients' information. You're not supposed to be able to have a client's phone number because you want to call them. No, you're not supposed to be able to do that stuff. And they would force her to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would try to force her because she didn't stick around long enough to make it to actually do that. But
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like,
Yeah, it's weird how
Wells
they do
Fargo's
that stuff.
dealings were
It's a
fucked up.
conspiracy.
They're
y'all.
yes, they're very well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if mine is considered.
I don't know if it's
firsthand
the same
knowledge,
anymore
but
now because of how they came down on them. And
No.
oh
it's
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
shit.
no, yeah.
Dude, One Main when that whole shit went down because I got officially let go like middle of last year. So that's why I say
Oh,
F
shit.
them.
Oh yeah.
I sued them once.
Oh, you
sued them
did?
Again.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you don't know One Main, I am suing you again because I'm
Okay.
sure you haven't got the demand notice yet.
Probably not.
Wow.
Yeah, like they're terrible, dude. Like I remember when they acknowledged the whole Wells Fargo thing. When we're changing the way we do things.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
light of the Wells Fargo
US.
stuff.
The
No,
It's
new
bullshit.
Wells
It's
Fargo.
so bullshit.
Bullshit, dude.
yeah.
Bullshit. I did it for 10 fucking years, dude. At the end, I couldn't do it no more.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm fucking over the same people that I live next door to because they redline all these middle class, lower class neighborhoods, and that's what they go after. And they keep you in this cycle of credit.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you want another $1,500? I know you owe us
Yeah.
$7,000. You want another $1,500? You qualify.
Yeah.
Your payment's only going to go up $300.
Unless you're
The new
Keenan,
slavery.
because I have
Yeah,
way
it's the
bad
new
credit.
slave- Yeah,
Exactly.
you're right.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I tried for a Wells Fargo card, got denied. I must have the worst.
You must
looking
have the
for-
worst credit ever.
You know
ever.
what? Hold on. No, they're bad. Look, I was trying to purchase a Ford Flex a couple years ago for my wife, right? And I got a great deal. It was like $3,000 under Blue Book. It was great.
damn.
Yeah.
I applied over the phone. Keep in mind, I did this for a living for 10
Yeah.
years. So I apply over the phone. I put a VIN number. I know exactly what they're looking for. So I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Check the ratios. We should qualify, right? It's under the values there, all that. The guy calls me the next day. He's like, hey, I'm going over your application, blah, blah, blah. He's like, why are they selling you the car so cheap? Is what he told me. And I'm like,
Why is that your business?
yeah. I was like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
what is
None
it?
of your business.
Because I'm getting a good deal.
Exactly, yeah.
That's have you never like shop for a car?
That's fucking weird.
But they declined me.
Wow.
Yeah. And the car was like, dude, I was like, I made plenty of money. I knew the debt to income ratio, all that stuff, dude. And they just declined me based off of that. When I got my house, my mortgage is with them right now. And when I got my house, they discriminated against us.
Damn.
They kept me in escrow for 6 months. They kept me in escrow for 6 months.
No.
Wow.
Damn.
And it was a 2-month escrow. Tops.
6
Shit.
months.
6 months. Not until I chewed out like half of their fucking staff via email.
Fuck,
Dude, I was like so livid because it was to the point where I told them I had to tell them, like, hey, if this doesn't happen now, like I'm just gonna have to go do something
somewhere
else.
else. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to find legal means or something. All of a sudden I started
Are we out of brewskis?
No. Well, we had 2 more.
I'm emailing supervisors and supervisors and
Yeah.
whatnot. And I finally, like within the week.
Oh, because you're almost done.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. See,
Oh,
I'm
shit.
on top of things.
Okay. So I know I'm not.
That's the thing now.
I know I'm not with the best bank. I'm with Citibank, but You know what?
They used to
Cities-
own one main.
What's that?
They were great when they used to own one main.
Dude.
Oh.
Oh, really? When you
It
said
used to be City Financial.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you guys used to be.
Was-
City.
it was,
I started
uh,
working there, so I was a Citigroup employee.
There's-
We
dude.
got perks. It was all right.
Dude, I know they like City gets a bad rap, but I've never had an issue with my bank ever.
But they all still take advantage of the consumer, and all because the consumer
Because they're
isn't
banks.
very
They're all
knowledgeable.
banks.
Yeah. Well,
Every-
I have
you
a
know.
credit union. And only
Okay,
specifically because credit union is a
Yes.
nonprofit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? But I've gotten fucked over by my credit union, and I've gone
Yeah.
in there.
Oh,
asked them,
really?
go to the 120th branch in Hawthorne, bro. They'll know me. Tell them, hey, the short dude with the beard,
yeah.
that angry short dude with the beard, dude. I've gone in there and I've chewed people out because I'm like, dude, what the charging me like $60 for like a $8 like overdraft. I'm like, what the I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, what's the difference between you and like Wells Fargo?
I
I had
think
this
it's all
whole
the same.
conversation with them.
I think no matter what, as long as whoever's taking your money and storing it, they're just gonna screw you over. Like
Yeah.
there's no nice happy corporation that
If
helps out.
You let them.
I'm actually
Yes.
opening
Okay.
a bank, guys. So if you guys want to leave me some money,
Yeah.
Oh, here,
I'm the
let me-
best
I
customer
gotta
around.
start a
You
savings
want
account.
I
Yeah.
will not. I will not use your money in the stock market.
So he says-
Yeah.
All of
I'll
a sudden
just
you get a
hold that
yacht.
for
Like,
you.
where'd you get that yacht from?
Let me hold that money.
This is the thing that really irked me when I had that conversation with these guys. It was the fact that they kept saying, "Oh, it's our policy," and I'm like, and I not shitting you. I had this conversation with the bank manager in his office. He fucked up by leaving his door open because I was loud as fuck intentionally.
Oh, okay.
But he literally told me it's our policy, and I said, you know who used to do that too? Who used to say that a lot? Wells Fargo. And he got so angry with me as soon as I said that, like
Oh.
almost like I called him like some fucking
Goodness.
slur,
Yeah.
right? And I was like looking at him like, why are you so upset? Like, this is not your bank. This
Like,
is
what's
not your
up,
credit
bro?
union."
I'm here.
Right?
Let's
I had
go.
to have this whole conversation with him and kind of like pull him off the ledge because I was like, dude, you don't work here, bro. And I had to tell him kind of what I was going through. I'm like, dude, you're a dollar sign, bro. When it comes down to cutting costs, it's like you're replaceable. And for you to sit here and defend them over people that you know are in the same predicament as you, live next door to you, same financial situation, for you to do that and try to justify it,
Yeah.
you might as well be them.
Is there any business out there throughout history that doesn't see dollar signs? Is that an oxymoron?
But it's
No,
not about the
that's-
dollar. It's about justifying the dollar signs. Like one of his things was like, well, what do you want us to do? You want us to just pay for your stuff and not pay for anything? I'm like, no, I'm okay. Charge me one. Do you charge me $125 overdraft fee? That's fine. But $60 for an $8, and then they call it a courtesy pay, and I'm like, dude,
Dude,
get
I
the fuck
fucking
outta here
hate
with
those
that.
fees, dude.
Courtesy these nuts in
The
your
courtesy
mouth.
fee.
Dude, I was about to give him a courtesy, dude.
Fucking hate courtesy fees.
Zip.
Like,
Dude.
I hate
So
those.
this, and I hope he listens to this at some point.
Oh, yeah.
But we had this long discussion, right? This guy, and he was trying to act all bold. He called me Greg like 8 times, and he kept telling me how I'm not listening to him, and I kept telling him, "You're not listening to me." By the 8th time, he called me Greg or Frank or some shit that was not my name.
Yeah.
He has my account in front of him, of course,
Yeah.
right? And I go, "Well, just so you know, that's not my name." Right? So I had to remind him like 3-4 times that is not my name, while he's telling me that I'm not listening to him.
God.
And then he goes, "Well, I mean, Ray," I'm like, "That's still not my name, though.
Yeah.
That's still not my name." You know. But by the end of it, oh, dude, he reverses all my shit now. He just,
Oh, okay.
He doesn't even argue. He's like,
It's
Oh,
this
'cause
guy.
you know, and this
El
is what I-
Barbon is coming.
dude, well, you know what I told him when I walked out? I said, I told him, you know what? I could leave this bank, but I'm not going to. Instead, you're going to hear my mouth every time I need to speak to you. And I
Oh,
told him
put the
that out
threat
loud in
on.
front of everybody in the lobby, dude. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I have no regrets about making a fucking scene if I have to.
Can they call security? Can they prevent you from
They
going in?
can't. Well, I mean, as
He's
long
not
as I'm
doing anything wrong. He's
as
just
long as
being
I'm not doing anything
persistent.
wrong, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I was never like calling him out a name. I was never doing
Yeah,
anything
yeah, yeah.
malicious.
Oh, okay.
But I was telling him, he didn't like the fact that I was portraying them as Wells Fargo.
Oh,
Because that's what they were doing.
Because I know my black ass would get arrested for like 25 years.
They'd have been like, "Sir, calm down." You're like, "I'm not even yelling."
Hold on,
I'm like,
Not
"Sir,
even yelling.
take your hands out of your pockets."
Hold on, Keenan, where do you think I'm from?
Well, you said you're part of the Latin.
But I remember we accepted other.
Oh, that's right. Shit.
Curveball.
Damn it.
No, what part of LA do you think he's from?
Oh, part of
No,
LA?
no.
Well, I was gonna say like
He's
where
like,
your
no.
where your like your ancestral history.
Tell
Well,
me,
I
I'd
would
like
say
to
you're
know.
mixed. You're mixed.
Okay.
Maybe one European country,
Okay.
a northern European country,
Mhm.
In
and
23 and me over
I
here.
know.
You're 6% Norwegian.
Ancestry over here, motherfucker. You got data. the database in his back pocket.
Let's see.
Put it this way.
How did you come down to those? Yeah, how did
Your
you
family
Northern
migrated to New
European.
York first. No.
Fucking Keenan.
But I would actually say it's cheap because of the information I got. But I'll say a Latin culture too.
So you're saying he's white and some kind of Latin?
I would say like Cuban or something like that. Cuban mixed with the European.
All right, Ray.
But
I'm just straight up Mexican, bro.
God damn it.
Born in Mexico, bro. Like born in Mexico.
well, technically
Trick
those
question.
conquistadors took over that whole area, so
Quick, Keenan,
you do
if
have
a-
some European history.
Well, yeah,
in
you'll
here.
probably have-
I'm from Jalisco, so that was actually
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
quick. If Rooster
What
lays
about
an egg on
me?
the roof,
What
which
do you-
way does it fall?
Where's my nationality? Huh?
Roosters don't lay it.
Huh?
I'm gonna say
You're
some-
black.
You're from Wakanda.
Wakandan. I don't know how
For
we
sure.
deviated into finances and fucking.
You know what it was?
Banking.
Oh, hold on.
Wait,
Whoa,
whoa.
dude, the first deviation was like the porn.
Yeah.
Like, it was like porn. It was porn to. Oh my god, I wish I remembered.
No, you're
But I was like
absolutely
watching,
right.
and I'm like,
Porn.
that
You
was
know
like,
what? This
really porn.
podcast is a porn to finance ratio.
Yeah, it really is.
At least 40%.
We talk about porn and philosophy. And that's it.
Porn is philosophy.
The
It's modern day
philosophy of
philosophy.
porn.
Yeah.
That's
going
gonna be the name of this episode.
I
Yeah.
want you to apply the principles of porn to your life. Right?
Yeah.
Accordingly.
Hey,
Porn principles.
The
When
eight
they try to fuck you, you fuck them hard.
the eight
Exactly.
principles of porn:
Exactly.
anal, fellatio,
Missionary.
You just have to remember that most
girl on girl.
most assholes don't like dicks, but sometimes
Well,
the dick
dicks-
needs to go into the asshole really hard.
Well, I don't like dicks. I'm definitely an asshole.
Definitely not. So,
And every now and then you'll run into some pussies, and they do like dicks. So it's,
But remember,
I'm
dicks
totally
fuck
stealing South Park's
assholes.
I
material.
know you really are.
Dicks
Oh,
fuck
God.
assholes, but they also fuck pussy. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Team America. You know, my brother did. He did special effects in Team America, and his name. I don't think they put his name in the credits, but he does have.
For Team America?
Mhm. Well, please. He worked on
America.
it. Yeah, he worked on
That
it.
long ago?
Yeah, he worked.
Holy
he
shit.
worked- yeah, dude.
We're old.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, you're old.
Speak
Oh,
for
is it?
yourself.
Wait, wait.
Gotta
How,
be peaking.
Hey, I'm
yeah.
peeking.
I always
That's
say, like,
crazy.
They say men peak financially in their late 30s, like 39 to their.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, I had
late
the,
40s,
almost the
right?
best year of my life,
Yeah.
2018.
Anytime my wife says, "Oh my god, you're old," I'm like, I mean, I'm getting better.
So.
I'm getting
I don't
better.
know.
You're
Like
like,
a fine wine.
let's not have this conversation.
Like,
I'm
notice that I
developing.
say like I'm getting better and like don't say anything else.
I'm
And I will
man.
not get caught in that one.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Although the world is changing
Yeah,
It is.
sure, dude, definitely.
Man.
for the better. For the better.
I'm glad I have two
It's
daughters.
absolutely shit.
I
Yeah.
had a conversation with the girl I'm seeing the other day.
I'm on the inside, bro.
I forget what I
Yes.
said, and then she told me, yeah, the world was originally designed for men, but it's
Mhm.
starting to change.
Oh yeah, because it
And
was
I was
designed
like-
by men.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, God damn.
But there might have been some
so-
I
civilizations
said
Here's
that
something
were.
else. I
that
just
were
gave her a hug, and I was like, yeah.
This year.
you pat her on the head. You'll get your
No,
chance.
no,
Don't
no,
worry.
no, no,
Don't
no.
worry.
No.
Keenan.
It's like
No.
funny, like when you've been in a relationship for so long, like those kind of things like just pop up like red flags that can be like, no,
Nope. Nope.
no, I'm not addressing that.
The fucked up thing is that I don't think it'll happen in our lifetime.
I don't think so.
No, maybe
We'll see.
later
We'll
on.
see the symptoms, and we'll see.
I
the
think maybe it'll
stuff.
happen in our kids' lifetime.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like
sure.
Futurama,
Yeah.
death by snoo snoo.
Yeah.
Oh, just talking
great.
about that last night.
Death by
I
snap.
Best
actually,
death
I
ever.
went to my first Kings game yesterday.
Oh
Okay.
shit.
First
No
Kings
shit.
game, yeah. So Bubba actually,
hockey.
Oh really?
yeah, my
Yeah.
friend Bubba and Alonzo, they actually hit me up in the morning like, hey, my birthday's coming up, so they're like, hey, we're not gonna be here, or one of them's not gonna be here, so they're like, want to take you to a Kings game. I was a hockey fan as a kid, but I've kind of like, I don't really pay attention to it
Deviated
much.
from it,
Yeah,
right.
but it was fun, dude. It was so they had a 90s night.
Oh shit.
It was
Wait, how is
Fire.
this related to snoo snoo?
because that's where I was talking about the snooze thing.
Ah,
That's where-
Okay,
so
so
that's
they
where
did
we
some.
brought it
They
up.
did some
Okay.
snoo
Asshole.
on the ice.
That's where you
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I was like, what is ice hockey? Oh.
I'm trying to remember how we correlated, but actually, as you say that, we're gonna get off topic. But
That's fine.
there was
Yeah,
a
we
funny.
always
This is what we do
that.
here.
That's every conversation we
we
had.
name it off topic.
yeah.
OT.
That
It's
could
none
have
of
been
our
the
business,
title. That
whatever.
could have been the title. Yeah,
It's
topic.
whatever we really have no business talking about, that's
Yeah,
what we
pretty
should
much.
be talking about.
Well, I
Yeah.
have business talking.
Oh yeah.
He's I have business talk about everything. No, but go ahead.
Snoo
It's my
snoo. Snoo
business to
snoo
talk
death.
about.
So there was a moment last night where they were running a contest and they had this this girl out there who they're like, okay, name this song, this 90s song. So they were playing like Family Matters, Full House,
Oh,
all the good ones,
yeah.
right? So tell me why, like Full House comes on, gets it automatically. Friends gets it automatically, right? Then
the Black Show. Yeah, I knew it. I knew that was coming.
No, I'm sorry. Then Family Matters comes on,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
and she's like, and I'm not saying anything, but I mean, I get probably why, but it was just so funny to me because I'm like, of course, out of everything you
I guess she didn't stick around after 9:30.
she got Beverly Hills 90210.
Oh yeah.
What the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up because
Well, at least they
Family
didn't play
Matters
like
is definitely
Sanford
the
and
better
Sons or like
better of those shows.
Yeah. There was a
That's
couple
true.
though that they were like nobody could get. Like there was 2 contestants actually,
Oh,
and there was a couple where neither of them got it.
do you know what song
Oh, really?
was played? Like, did they tell you the answer afterwards? What?
Yeah,
what
yeah,
the-
they
what
did.
was
They
it?
did.
Do you
One
know
of
what-
them was. No, I can't tell you. There
you
was 2 of
can't
them.
tell
though. There
us,
was
or-
2. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you because
You know, there was alcohol involved.
He was
There was a
wasted.
lot of
Yeah.
alcohol.
He,
Yeah.
he was King's wasted.
King
Little
was
Mary
wasted.
Joanna.
Yeah.
No, all right. Hey,
Those
hey.
are interesting. I've been to one hockey game that I was introduced to, and I think it was at Ducks. I think I saw the Ducks, Mighty Ducks.
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
God. I swear to
Yeah.
God.
I was about to do the Angels in the
Is
outfield.
They were, yeah, you haven't seen
Blind
movies
the-
that
the
much. You
knuckle
don't know
puck.
movies. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bash Brothers.
The Bash Brothers.
That definitely got me and my brother. I think a lot of hood kids or whatever didn't do anything hockey related until that movie came
yes.
out, and all of a sudden me and my brother get rollerblades. We're out in the parking lot trying to do that puck
with
smash.
the stick,
Yeah.
I used to play
Yeah.
street hockey, dude.
Yeah,
flipping the puck like
exactly.
Ha!
Like we're all badass. It's
Dude,
like
kids today don't do shit that we
Nothing.
did back in the day.
Not at all.
is
man.
it getting? Because our parents would say that too about us. So is it just getting worse progressively, or is it just the same old, same old?
It's just weird that like they would push
Maybe.
us out the house as much as like get the fuck out of the house was the motto.
Yeah.
But the world is so dangerous now with all the fucking cell phones.
Stay in
and
the
all that.
house, play some Fortnite, so I
Like,
know where
let-
you're
be
at.
where I can see you.
Yeah.
And and let's take turns when you play Fortnite.
Hey, man.
Don't
My
hog those
son,
sticks.
my son just beat Spider-Man, man.
Yeah, Joe's
With-
son is
with
like
his-
going to be a gamer.
Dude, I can't
All
get
the
my
way.
son into it. He's very particular. He likes Call of Duty, Fortnite.
Oh, he's a gamer,
Gamer, bro.
He's a gamer, bro.
You know
gonna
what
be playing
though?
But
Madden.
that's it though. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't. Like we have the VR set, the PS4 VR
Yeah.
set. He's used it like once in like a year.
Oh,
Damn.
no.
I like it more than he does.
Gavin's
Wow.
always trying to get on that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Amazing.
I don't want to.
The beauty to that, though,
Yeah.
the beauty to that though is, so for like, let's think long term here. The beauty to that is that like 2 years ago, Tony Robbins, okay, a motivational speaker, invested in an esports company, and it's because
Oh, he did?
Yeah, the future is
Oh.
going to be virtual reality. So
It
he's
is. Of
not
course,
thinking about the gamers right now,
Yeah.
but he's thinking like Ready Player One, like down
Okay.
that way. And
Yeah.
he's early. It's like everybody who's like investing in blockchain. Well, they're more into Bitcoin, but blockchain is really what you should be paying
Yes.
attention to.
Have you done
Blockchain
the,
will be crypto will be the future. Well, you
The
know, a
future?
lot of banks
Yeah.
are actually creating their own crypto right now.
Yeah, they are. That's how
Yeah.
you
Which
know
is
it's
the
something's
bullshit.
going
Yeah.
on. It's
Yes.
like we want part of that too.
All those-
Akon
Yeah.
has his own
Yeah,
cryptocurrency.
yeah.
Acoin. Akon.
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 Acoin.
Yeah.
Hey, he
It's
did
called
good.
Acoin.
Yeah.
Steady trying to find the motive.